Bombshell news out of Alaska today. No, Sarah Palin has not been reelected governor. I said bombshell news, not nightmare news. Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski has just said the quiet part out loud. She just admitted what everyone knows, but no one will say, and it's about time. Ever since Trump was elected in 2016, Republican politicians have tried playing a game, keeping their heads low and trying to survive while waiting for political conservatism, not to mention some measure of sanity, to return to the party. They hoped against hope that the low IQ voters that ushered in MAGA would soon lose interest and power, and they could go back to being Republicans. Instead, as Trump's November victory and cabinet approvals made clear, the MAGA wing has now replaced the Republican Party. Representative Jason Crow from Colorado recently spoke about this game Republicans play, and here's what he had to say.
Well, I don't give a damn what they quietly whisper to me anymore. Right? Like, listen, we're way beyond that point. We're way beyond the point of having private discussions behind closed doors where they whisper to me how much they detest Donald Trump, or the fact that, you know, they wish we could be beyond Donald Trump. They had their chance. Years ago, they had their chance. We know who Donald Trump is. He has shown us over and over and over again who he is. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do on the campaign trail, which is going to be devastating for tens of millions of Americans. Frankly, if you are not willing to have the courage to stand up and to fight for the people you represent, then you don't belong in office.
Right.
So Crow's conclusion about standing up or you don't belong is something that Murkowski clearly struggles with. She voted no on Hegseth and Kash Patel, but clearly it was safe for her to do so. Voting for RFK and Tulsi Gabbard, those were both obvious no votes that she also could have cast. So whether Murkowski could actually cast a no vote when it really counts, when it really makes a difference, that's what we need to know. Even her impeachment vote against Trump was pretty safe. It's true, it marked her as a Trump enemy for the rest of her life, but she knew Mitch McConnell had saved the day for Trump, and so it ended up being relatively safe. The other thing that's also true for Murkowski is that she has few, if any, allies. Now, theoretically, Susan Collins of Maine is an ally, but Collins proved long ago that she is nowhere near being the independent Republican she claims to be. Tell us again how the president learned his lesson, Susan. And who else could Murkowski ally with? Senator Foghorn Leghorn from Louisiana? Ted Cancun Cruz? Or how about the brown-nosing low-IQ Tom Cotton? There simply are no Republican conservatives left in the Senate to ally with. They're all MAGA now. So not only is Murkowski without any political allies with which she could influence legislation, it means she has no allies if Team Trump decided to disenfranchise her. And if there's one thing Trump is consistent about, it's retaliation. Surely you didn't think I was going to say tariffs. And that's exactly what Murkowski spoke out about. Watch this.
Part of what I have been doing with my team is just trying to listen as carefully as I can to what is happening and how it is happening and the impacts it is having on the ground. And we're honest up front in saying we don't have all the answers, but we're trying to unlock at different opportunities and in different ways as much as we can. And it is as hard as anything that I have been engaged in the 20 plus years I've been in the Senate.
What do you have to say to people who are afraid, or who represent people who are afraid?
We are all afraid. Okay? That's what I'm stating. But we are, we're in a time and a place where I don't know, I certainly have not been here before. And I'll tell you, I'm oftentimes very anxious myself about using my voice, because retaliation is real, and that's not right. but that's what you've asked me to do. And so I'm going to use my voice to the best of my ability, and sometimes it will be viewed in a way that, well, that's pretty confrontational. And other times it's going to be using my mother's charm that I learned as a young girl, and in direct communication with those that I have made relationships with, and am able to affect some change that way. But I've got to figure out how I can do my best to help the many who are so anxious and are so afraid.
And that is precisely the quiet part out loud. Murkowski is trying to unveil to her constituents why she hasn't fought harder. But she's also doing something more. She's opening the door for others to follow. And for that, I'll give her credit. Now, it's hard to imagine who exactly would follow, but at least she's opened that door. Murkowski is trying to lay the groundwork for opposing Trump's all-out assault on America, on federal workers, on veterans getting their benefits slashed, on medical research, and on every consumer needing to buy groceries. Yeah, remember groceries? She's gotten to the point where she realizes there's only one option left for her: to start speaking out. But I'm here to tell her there's one other option left, one that would give her more power: switch parties. First of all, I don't think it would cost her re-election. And second of all, if Bernie and AOC have proven anything, it's that people are ready for change, and no state is as red as you think it is. And besides, as Jason Crow says,
well, I don't give a damn what they quietly whisper to me anymore. Right? Like, listen, we're way beyond that point. We're way beyond the point of having private discussions behind closed doors where they whisper to me how much they detest Donald Trump, or the fact that, you know, they wish we could be beyond Donald Trump. They had their chance. Years ago, they had their chance. We know who Donald Trump is. He has shown us over and over and over again who he is. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do on the campaign trail, which is going to be devastating for tens of millions of Americans. Frankly, if you are not willing to have the courage to stand up and to fight for the people you represent, then you don't belong in office.
I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.